Today on Age of Empires Mobile, we're going to be talking about the civilizations in the game, because obviously many people want to know what is the best civilization, but this question obviously gets short answered. And what I mean by that is everyone does recommend, and I will be even the one to say it myself, that says China or even I believe it is Japanese to give you the 10% attack against tribes in the world. So basically what this is saying is if you pick Japanese or Chinese, you're going to go for more of a PvE route in the early game to help you develop, right? So China gives you these 8 villages. As you guys may know, this is going to help you go through resource production a little bit easier if we jump out of here and go into the villager management system, right? Having that +8 does allow you to get more in here and start obviously producing more resources over time that you're going to need for your account. But the one thing is, and as many people will notice, to change your civilization in this game, it's super cheap. It's honestly 200 coins to do, which is insane. It's insane. 200 gems basically to change your civ at any time. And that's what's really interesting, because in the early game I am going to be in agreement China or Japan is really good for most players, right? This is going to allow you to either kill a lot of the tribes on the map a lot easier through Japan, or you're going to kind of have that little bit of more resource production through the village system of China. But when we look at all of the other 8 civilizations we've got to choose from, we've got French, which gives you cav defense, resource exchange, gathering troop defense, kind of more tailored to gatherers, which we will talk about a bit more in depth. Byzantines, which gives you swordsman defense 5%, stone gathering speed in the world 5%, as well as all unit types siege damage. This one doesn't really matter too much, honestly. This is to do with when you're going into sieging on cities, and you do enough damage as it is without the buff. So this one you don't really care about. It's honestly the first 2. When we're going to Romans though, Romans do have a really good setup. 5% pikeman defense, 5% healing speed, and you get +30 villager boost to building produce. So what that means is when you're building those productions, right, you have villagers that can help build. It's give you more time reduced on it now, which is really good. Just a really good way to build up, and you're getting healing speed and you're getting pikemen. So you can kind of see where I'm leading to you now, hopefully by the end of these other 3 civilizations. Because Britain, where I am from, where the queen, or now the king, should we say, where the king's money is now, is all about archers defense and the production of mills. And this is, again, really good 2 buffs, apart from the player's citadel defense bonus. This is basically if you're going to get attacked, you're going to get an extra 10% bonus against people attacking your city. So it's a really defensive one, but you do get that 5% archers defense and the production of mills. Going to Egypt, you get pikeman's defense, troop load, and the gathering troop unit loss prevention is +5%. So what this means is, again, if you kind of want to build more of a farming-based, an account, or whatever you want to do in this game, this is a really good one, because you're gonna get, again, troop load, and if you do get farm killed all the time, guess what, you're gonna be losing less, which is good, right? You're losing less for choosing Egypt. Then we're going to Korea, the final one. Looting limit, cav defense, and resource storage protection rate. I personally don't like this one at all, apart from the cav defense, but this is kind of more of a very aggressive build if you're gonna go down this civilization. So we've gone through what all the other guys do now, and we know obviously what Japan and China do, and what is the point of me going through this, right? Sneaky, why have you just gone through basically all that information that we already kind of know about? And the reason I'm talking about that is in the early game, you will be picking one of the 2, Japan or China. But you are going to get to a point when you are tier maybe 4, tier 5 units, where you're going to start to feel that 10% attack against troops in the world just isn't good enough. And to be honest, you're not going to be benefiting out of the 5% attack bonus. So the only thing you're really getting justification out on this Japanese, civilization is the swordsman's defense 5%. And let's be honest, the actual defense buffs are really, really good for your units when it comes to the open field. So what we could do is actually swap out of Japan, right? And we could go down a different route in the game where we're going maybe for Byzantines, where you're still getting that 5% defense bonus, which is really good. But now you're getting that stone gathering speed in the world. So you can actually gather the stone resource, which I'm guessing is the most important one for swordsmen, allowing you to gather that a little bit quicker and actually get more troops over time. So you can see how Byzantines already in a mid-game state is going to be a much better civilization for your account. This is kind of the same thing with Britain. Britain is a really good one for archer mains. If you want to play archers, this is a absolute must-pick civilization once you're around T5 and pushing on. Why am I saying that? Because the thing is, you're getting 5% defense on your archers, which is, again, amazing to have. But the 5% production of mills. There's a secret tip and trick that people do not know yet, and I'm going to kind of leak it a little bit on here, but it will be on a future video. But your farms do produce an absolute ton of food. You can generate up to 8 million resources when you get these bad boys almost up to max level, which is crazy. And that's not including any of the different village systems that you could be enacting through the code of the villages, right, to produce more. And the thing is with your farms, if you didn't know this tip and trick now, every time you're upgrading your farms, the more higher level these farms actually accumulate, you're going to actually generate more of these little areas that you can assign villagers to. So the more of these you can have, you can now see where I'm going with this, you can change this. So your villager system, hourly production, is almost having 40 members of villagers in there. So your production is insane. Plus 5% now from Britain, and you're just laughing on how much food production you're generating. And you need that always to train troops and even heal troops when you're fighting in the open field. So you can see now why this video is being made and why I'm kind of stepping out of the light compared to everyone else who's made those civilization videos on what is the best civilization, because I've been playing this game and trying to learn this game the best as I can before I give you guys some good advice and some good guides when it comes to picking a really important choice, just like your civilizations, right? So that is basically the crux of today's video. So I'm going to kind of summarize it here for you guys again, and then we'll end it, right? Because that makes it a lot more sense for you. So in the early game, when you very start your account, when you're just a bambino and you get to pick your very first civilization for the very first time, because you've completed chapter 4 during the tutorial stages, what do you pick? You're going to either pick China or you're still going to pick Japan. Either one you can choose. Japan is going to allow you to kill tribes a lot more easier on the open field, meaning you can level up heroes over time a lot easier. Or you're going to be picking, obviously, China to give you that village system to already start having that resource production advantage over other players, because you have 8 extra capacity compared to everyone else, right? So those are the first two. Once you're around, I would say T4, going into T5, especially if you're a T5 player, you're going to be looking at choosing a different civilization. You are going to be picking a civilization that has at least 2 relevant buffs for your account. So again, we'll go through Britain. If you're an archer player, we've just gone over, really good choice. You're gonna have 5% defense and that production on all the food. If you're a pikeman main, I actually really do like this one too. You're gaining 5% on that pikeman defense, but you gain 5% healing speed, right? That is really good over a long period of time. You're healing more troops over other players on the open field. So again, if you're a pikeman main, you might want to transition into the Romans and represent Julius Caesar in there. Again, Byzantines is a really good swordsman upgrade, because the same thing, swordsman defense 5%, and we're gaining stone gathering speed in the world for 5%. So you can have a look at these, right? Some of these might be better for you in certain situations, and that is why in this game, you can actually swap between civilizations for such a cheap cost, because it's just, you might have to, right? The situations do change, and you should be able to flexibly change your civ on the fly. So hopefully I've answered that video for you. I'm going to be doing it. Here's the 1 minute. Boom, hit the confirm. We're going to on video switch from China to my homeland, Britain. Love the city, love the churches. Oh yes, this feels just right at home. Oh yes, look at that. Look at that. It's like a good old inn back down in London. Love it, love it. But yeah, there we go. That's how you can change your civilizations and why certain civilizations are actually better than others. And hopefully you know now which is the best civilizations in the game for Age of Empires Mobile, and hopefully you know which ones should be better for your account. And if this has helped you guys out and you've enjoyed today's video, you know what I only ask for. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, put a comment down below, tell me what you'd like to see in the next video. And until then, stay safe guys, stay sneaky, peace out.